Hi, Paul Hefty here. What we want to talk about today is the inside gap RPOs. Again, this is man or angle blocking. And again, we're going to have one family with several different blocking concepts. We'll start with, as our foundation, classic one back power. And then we can go to counter tray, blast, and we'll go to play action pass, route variations, and then a pass draw option off of power there too. Again, you've got 6 plays in one when we do this. Again, if we just call our power play, we're doing an RPO all the way. If we want to turn this into a power run with no RPO read, we just add the bongo signal, and again, it becomes give all the way. We can add the alert signal to our quarterbacks, which turns the RPO into a PRO, where we're thinking pass first, run second. We can turn this into play action pass with our north signals, and you'll see the variations of that. Turns it into pure play action pass. Still using power blocking. The line just stays on the line of scrimmage instead of going downfield. We can turn this into a pass draw option off of these power, where now we're going to do pass first, think pass first, but if we don't like it, then we're going to turn it into a quarterback draw, and then last we can do screens with a south signal. Again, you're not going to use all of these. Power is kind of the start of it, but you pick what's best for you. So again, as we said, you want to pick what plays fit your personnel. I like to think on what's your best return on investment. That can change from year to year or even from week to week. Again, the same thing holds true though. We're going to be able to read different defenders. So we'll start with power. We're going to read the Sam backer. And then a great complement to that, going away from the H is the counter Trey, still reading the Sam backer. And then we can add a backdoor concept, meaning we're going to go away from the H back. He's going to free release and become a receiver, and we'll actually read the will. And then last is blast as a simple counter action. First starts with defensive recognition. So again, we always want to look at the safeties too high here, and then look at our ANA, access, no access. The defenders over our 2 inside receivers. If they're wide, that means we don't have access if they're covering them. If they're not, then that means we have access and we can see what kind of numbers we have in the run box with it. Great free snap identification. Simple. Again, it's more important to know how to teach this and what you do versus or how you do it than what you do. So we'll show you some simple drills to get these techniques down. Starts here with what we call an alert or a north drill. You can see here, let's take power, which is the foundation. The back and the H are with the line, and you're working inside whole run scheme there with your power against the fronts. You're going to see that weak. The other skill receivers then and the quarterbacks then are working the RPO route concepts and timing with the coaches being the read keys for them. Great way to get everybody going, everybody involved in your doing this decision making that they're going to have to do in a ball game. So first, here's our power scheme. Again, we're going to run this towards the H. Classic one back power. The H has to dig out that defensive end, so we're looking for a front where the end is wide to give him an angle ideally. And then the nice thing about this is the route concept is what we call as a pop. Signal is fist on the face. It's going to be for all your inside gap calls. The nice thing with this is the X is always going to run the skinny slant or what we call a glance route. And then the Z and the A are going to run a bender read and a lookie underneath, so we get a 2-level route there. Again, we're going to try to A-gap this more than anything, where we get the horizontal movement with the O-line versus getting vertical. And again, you can see the specifics of that to the O-line on the O-line blocking book video and PowerPoint there. One other thing we like to do with the call is our quarterbacks, when we're running RPOs, we want them in the play call to the lineman to actually call out the number of the read key defender. In this case, it's a Sam and number 4. So the call would be Pittsburgh 4, and it lets us confirm or confirms to us. The quarterback knows who the read key is. We've also found that it helps them actually focus on the read key so they're not guessing and reading. Real simple here then. This would go ahead and be an ace left formation. So again, it's as you see it. I'm going to signal with my opposite hand. We're going to go ace left, and we're going to go Pittsburgh to the right. So I'm going to take my right hand, fist Pittsburgh. Okay. The receivers are going to give the pop signal because it's automatic. Nothing said means something, and we're off. Power to the right. Again, you can see here, if we go 3 by 1, nothing changes for anyone. We just move the H over with the set. We're still going to read the SAM backer. Blocking is all the same. And then the routes for the pop are all locked into those receivers too. The X is still going to run what we call the glance or the skinny slant. And then we're going to get the A with the bend to read and the Z with the flat slant or the looky route. The nice thing here is when you run this to the 2 receiver side or in a trip set, we're going to get a 2-level route here. So that if the SAM blitzes, the X comes over and takes that away, the looky replaces it. Great complement, great way to kind of evolve the reads for your quarterback. If you want to turn your RPOs into kind of quick passes or what we call pass run or PROs, where we want the quarterback to think pass first, don't have to change the play call. You simply give the alert signal to the quarterback. Nothing needs to be said here, but now you're letting him know he can think pass first, run second. Again, great way to use quick pass. We're still using O-line blocking because we're getting rid of the ball quick, and we should be able to do this without them getting downfield. Just add the alert call. Again, a great complement to this now, teams start to overload to your H side, is to go ahead and run counter Trey away from the H. Now all we're going to do is the guard's going to kick out, the H is going to lead up through, back starts away, now we get great counter action. But the beauty here is the receivers are still running, it's inside gap, their pop RPO route. So nothing changes for them. For the quarterback, the read stays the same. He simply is going to get counter action with the back. He still uses his rocker steps, same reads, same timing. Linemen, again, go to the O-line blocking book, but it's basically blocking backside gap to backside defender, and it gives us great angles against teams that want to run hard to our H-back. Again, that would be Cincy now or Cleveland. So again, here we go with an ace left formation. So I'm going to take my right hand, ace left, and we're going to go Cincy to the left. Now I know I'm going away from the H, so I can use my same hand, and Cincy is simply arm out straight. Great. Quarterback again is going to call out the read key defender, which is the SAM number 4 here. So it'd be Cincy 4, and we're off. If you're a team that doesn't really have a good blocking H-back or you want to detach that H quite a bit, you can run this same counter Trey scheme, but I call this a tag counter because now the tackle is going to replace the H, obviously, since he's not part of the box set. Okay? So all we do there is tag Cincy becomes, we're tagging, we're punching out with it. Now the tackle replaces him. We have to go back to old split zone or what I call Penn State bubble, because now since we have no one to block the defensive end, the read key has to become that first level defender. So we'll bubble on this side and we'll do our speed out or go on this side away from the 2 receivers with it. So again, automatically becomes our bubble signal and Penn State outgo. Again, if we go to the 3 receiver side, this is the one time we have to concept teach this, because in all our bubbles, the bubble receiver is always the receiver closest to the quarterback. So now if we go with a trip set, 3 by 1, the H has to be the bubble man and the A knows they're blocking. X still has their outgo. But again, it's a tag Cincy. Quarterback now is going to say the defensive end's number 3, and we know we're into the bubble route and the out route. What I prefer to do is come up with just a simple blast because there's less moving parts. Again, this is great when you start to get defensive ends that want to come wide on a speed rush on your open side. Creates a natural fan block, or what I call a drive and wash outside. Again, it's part of the inside gap family, so it's an automatic pop RPO route. Z and A are going to bend to read and looky. X has got his glance or skinny post on the backside. Back, we make this a counter play, our ISO with it normally. So he's going to counter dart back. Quarterback's still going to do his rocker, still reading the SAM the same. Nothing changes. Here's a video of it with Penn State. You're going to see they're going to come back left, right up the gut, makes the cut, and we're off. Simple, sound, great complement to power because there's less moving parts with only the H coming. Now we can get into the play action parts of this. It's real simple. We just add the prefix of north, and remember, any signal towards the top of the head is going to be a north call for the quarterback to the O-line. The different signals tell the receivers the route. So if we simply go with a salute, so with the single hand, that means we're locked into the pop route that we've been running. And again, now we'll go ahead and give the Pittsburgh call. So this would be Northern Pittsburgh. Okay. Going to be the Overcoat cue to the linemen. The linemen are still going to block power along with the H. But again, they know they are going to stay on the line of scrimmage because north tells them it's play action pass. Receivers are going to run their same pop route, and the quarterback knows this pass all the way with the back checking the SAM, which is normally our RPO key. So Northern Pittsburgh turns it into play action pass all the way. We can change the routes by simply changing the north signal. So now if we want to run what we call sluggos, any type of double moves, we simply are just going to do our stutter movement. Again, we're going to take both hands and tap that on top of the head. That tells us we're going to run sluggos with the outside receiver, still got our bender read. Again, quarterback simply knows that as a north call, and again, we would give Pittsburgh. So this would be, again, we're going to do sluggos, but it's north, Pittsburgh, play action pass, but we've changed the route by just changing the signal. We can go to slot fades, which is really popular against 4-2-5s with the one high, where we get these matchups. You take your, again, we want to put our best receivers, typically our A and our X. So again, we get a matchup of a linebacker or a safety. We like that matchup. Everybody's pressed across, and we can go to a slot fade. Now we just do both hands is going to be a slot fade route. That's a double north. So now again, we would still be north. Pittsburgh is the verbal cue. But the double north tells us we're running slot fades. Again, you'll see this here, Penn State. This was against Washington in the Fiesta Bowl several years ago. They went 4-2-5 with one super safety. Again, we've got a mismatch here with Hamilton. They see it, and you can see easy pickings. 1, 2, 3, boom, you're off. Hard for them to defend. Again, rep that, and you're in good position for explosive plays. Again, one of the things defenses will do now, just like the 4-2-5, they'll come to a cover 2 and they'll actually bring the corners inside leverage to take away those slants. A good way to attack that then is you use corner routes, quick corners. We just call this a smash concept. Again, anything on top of the head is a north call. So we just take our fist and put it on top of our head, and that turns it into a smash route. For the receivers, it's still a northern Pittsburgh for our linemen and our quarterback with the calls. You change the routes, and now we're going to go ahead and pick on the corners on this. Still play action pass. If you want to turn this into a pass draw option, if you've got a great quarterback who's a dual threat guy, we can still take our same, any of those route combinations, but let's go ahead and take the smash concept, okay, is what we have here with a north. Now, central is anything on the nose, so we just simply put that fist here on the nose. That turns it into central Pittsburgh, which tells our linemen now it is a pass draw. They're going to block this like power all the way, because if we don't throw this right away, now the back, instead of getting the ball after the fake, it's going to lead up again on what would be the RPO read, a SAM or an outside backer, and the quarterback's going to look for that pass, doesn't like it, he's going to take off and follow the back through the hole. Great pass draw option. Just change the prefix to central, which turns that into pass draw option. And we change the signal of the route from the top of the head, which is north cues, to central, which is in the middle of the face or the nose. Again, you can see here with Inside Gap, it starts with power, everything does, but you have tons of variations, complements, counter Trey, counter tag, to blast, and you have different variations of routes in play action pass game, along with a pass draw option at the end there. Great foundation, simple, sound. Actually, it's the one thing I've run the most in the last 20 years. Thanks.